Hi, folks. This is Elgin Subway Surfer Bowling, your creative caricature marketing consultant, and continuing on in the video series of The Customer is Always Wrong. Here's part 5 of that series. In the last video, I talked about how public perception of artists contributes to them not taking us seriously, and how in the minds of most people, this is an artist. On some level, this is what an artist is, because art is seen in a lot of ways as a throwaway activity that children do, and they bring that in there to us. So what's very important for us to do as professionals when approaching clients is, number one, to be professional at all times when we're talking about business. Now, when you're into the project stage where you're talking back and forth with the person, you can kind of let your hair down a little bit, but dress is very important. And also, let me see, just verbal interaction. You don't want to become too much of a pal because they already have that, what's the word? They're already kind of relating to you in an informal type of way. Here's one thing that I found to be very important. And this is something that I learned early in my caricature career, taught to me by, a good friend, called Larry Youngstein of Having a Party in New York City on Avenue L. I'm giving him a plug because I love the guy. Anyway, first thing that Larry always told me is, don't take a cap off of your marker until you have a contract. And I will tell you that every time I didn't listen to Larry's advice, I got screwed. Every time, without question. If you're going to have people take you seriously as an artist, whether you're a caricature entertainer like I am, or whether you just do freelance art, what you want to do first, get a contract. Get a signed contract. Get a contract that talks about all of the terms of the assignment. A contract that lays out A, B, C, D, all the way to Z, what's going to happen at certain stages of the job. Here's why you want to do that. There's something magical that happens with a contract between a client and an artist. I have seen, personally, people's expressions change when I say, okay, hey, let's, sign a contract. When you bring out the contract, then they know they're not dealing with a kid, which, like I told you before, this is the perception they have of you sometimes, unintentionally. This is the perception they have of you. When you pull that contract out, now they know they're dealing with an adult who takes his business seriously. And what contracts do also is one other important thing. People have a tendency, if they're going to sign a contract, you can believe that they're going to follow through with the job. Because in the real world, contracts mean something. Now, the terms of your contract can vary. In my case, I sometimes ask for 3/4 of the amount. Other times I ask for half. And I've even found people who, will just pay everything and will just sign the contract right there. The thing that I'm trying to get across to you is, when you do the contract thing, it's going to eliminate the posers, because I've had people kind of who run from this thing like a vampire runs away from a cross. Seriously. And there's nothing bad about that, because the people who run away from you, when you start talking a contract, these are the people I guarantee who are going to mess you up as the project goes on. I could bore you, maybe I could excite you, with some horror stories, of things that have happened to me with reputable companies where I didn't get a contract, but a contract has never, ever failed me. In fact, I had one client, I remember when we started talking business and I started talking contracts, She said to me, "Wow, I thought you'd be more, I thought you'd be more fun, and I did show her fun, Elgin, as soon as we signed the contract. But I wanted to get across to her, that I'm a professional, that this is my business, not my hobby, and that we had to proceed in certain ways. And you want to also, I should say, with people who are resistant to contracts, tell them why the contract helps them. Most people are selfish. They don't want to go into anything unless there's something in it for them. And I tell them, listen, I said, the contract does two things. It keeps you honest, and it keeps me honest. Because I've already gotten paid, so now I have an obligation of following through on the job. And I also put a clause in the contract that if I'm unable to personally, for whatever reason, follow through on the job, that I will provide, another artist of equal ability, not the same because we're all individuals, but of equal ability, to complete the job. That's what's in my contract, and it has served me well throughout the years. So if you are an artist and you want to get into the habit of that, forget about shaking somebody's hand is not a contract. A verbal contract is not a contract. I have had people make verbal contracts with me and the handshaking ones with me only to at the last possible minute say, you know what, the expenses just got to be too much, so we're gonna, kind of hold off, on the caricature artist, but thank you. Okay? So I just can't say this enough, folks. If you want to avoid having a horrible financial scenario happening to you, and also if you want to project yourself as an individual, mess that up, as a professional individual, give the person a contract. Okay? If you do that, they won't think of you as this. This is Elgin, Subway Surfer Bowling, your creative caricature marketing consultant.